Hello everyone, this is Dr. Achal and I welcome you all again in our subject module titled as Services Marketing. In our previous discourse, we have dealt with the concept of the communication which is being done in the form of the internal way, and the communication which is very much being relevant enough to get connected with your audience and who are there, the people who are there in the environment in the form of the stakeholders, how to just connect with them. So, internal communication and external communication have already been discussed in our previous discourse. In today's discussion, we will be dealing with a promotion mix. What are the important tools that can be seen in the promotion mix and why it is being important enough. So, here as it is being written here that the promotion is very important aspect. We have already said that the promotion is one of the tool of the 7 P's that is being used by the service provider, and it in turn it is one of the P which is a very sensitive and it is very important tool, because by using this tool, we as a marketer, we can craft and develop out a strategy which is very much being effective enough towards meeting out the expectations and the aspirations of your target audience. The promotional tool, the objective of any promotional tool is not only to inform to inform or to create an image, to persuade and to convince out the target audience to move in for the purchase process, but apart from it, the different techniques and the promotional tools that are being used by the organization is in the form of creation of a unique and a distinct image, giving you an assurance to move in for the purchase process again and again. Creation of a distinct image in the terms of creating such a value which is very much being unique enough as compared to the offerings of the target audience. Creation of a unique and a distinct image, and offering out your services, offering out your offerings in such a way which is very much being unique and distinct enough as compared to the offerings of your competitors, and giving them brand assurance, creating and developing a binding relationship with them. So, all these are the objectives that can be seen with the help of the deployment of the good promotional appeal, and we can go in for any kind of adoption of any kind of promotional technique. Similarly, keeping into account the objectives that you want to fulfill upon and taking into account the needs and expectations of the target audience. Now, this slide says that the promotion is mix. This slide says that the advertisement, one of the tool of the promotion mix, that is the advertisement. And what is an advertisement all about? Here it is being said that advertisement or the advertising is being said as a paid communication messages that identify a brand or an organization and is intended to reach a large number of recipients. These advertisements focus on a singular product and intend to bring brand awareness to a product or to differentiate the brand from the competitors. Now, as it is being written here, that is the advertisement, the technique of the advertisement, the main objective of the advertisement, which is in a paid form of the communication, and their main objective is to appeal to a larger target area, to inform, to persuade out the offerings that you are trying to dispose of in the market area to a wider audience. Then only the audience will be getting an information, they will be developing an appeal to go in for the purchase process. And here also, as it is being said, that an advertisement is basically being specified towards one particular brand. The sponsorship is being given, one particular brand is being their information, their persuasion factors being created. Now, development of a advertisement, how to develop the advertisement copy effectively, you have to take into account of your budget, you have to foresee the expectations and aspirations over whom you are trying to target out your effort. You also do have to take into account the competitors' strategy, whether your offering is having a capability to satiate out the needs or the wants of the target audience, or whether the competitors are occupying a dominant position in the market area and how to just diffuse that dominancy. So, many a times we can say that it is the advertisement which is acting as a silent salesman, and we as a marketer, we can be deploying the advertisement or the advertorial tools can be used for the purpose of not only creation of the information, not only protection of the information, but do as an effective and as a versatile manager, we can be using out in a strategy of the persuasion and the motivation for the purpose of moving out for the purpose of moving in for the purchase process by the target audience. And if you are informing and persuading out the things that we are trying to propose out in the market area, the deeds and the associations, the benefits that we are channelizing in terms of the creation of the specific brand, definitely one of the other objective of you choosing a particular advertisement is towards creation of the brand awareness amongst the consumers, amongst the customers, because we know that for the purpose of satiating our needs and the wants, we are being thrown within a numerous kind of alternative options to go in for. We can have we are living in a competitive scenario, we are having a monopolistic competitive conditions to go in for. And this monopolistic competitive condition itself speaks of the fact that here a large number of the buyers and the sellers are there. The differentiation is being talked of in terms of making certain kind of coming out within a certain kind of different color combinations, the different textures may be used, the different promotional techniques may be used, certain kind of superficial differentiation can also be done. We can go in for any container size can be varied and can be varied. Similarly, we can go in for adoption of any kind of making superficial changes in terms of adding on their functionality and creating something new. So this advertisement is also being done as a technique, it is also being used as a technique to create a brand awareness, to create a unique image into the minds of the prospects, into the minds of the audience, so that they can be motivated enough to go in for the purchase process, and they are being unique enough and distinct enough from the products of the competitors. Now this is also one of the technique, that is the sales promotion, and it says that the sales promotion are the tactical activities used as a part of the overall promotional mix. They are intended to produce quick and short term changes in the consumers or to the business or business buying behavior. Now sales promotion, as the name is clearly giving you the fact that here the promotional activity is being intended to the target amongst the target audience, and that intention is being specified only for a shorter period of time. So if the promotional appeal, which is in the form of the flotation of the coupons, the rebate is being given, a discount is being given, certain kind of specific premiums are being generated for a specified period of time. So all these techniques techniques that are being used for the purpose of creating an inducement factor amongst the purchase behavior of the target audience, they are being defined to come under the ambit of the sales promotion, because they are only being given for the specified period of time. Like we can take another example, like the frequent flyers, the discount factors being given to the frequent flyers. The airline industry is trying to give the discount to the frequent flyers, or the people who are using out the executive class in the airlines. The airline industry is giving a discount factor to them because they are usually making out these kind of consumption behavior. They are moving for the consumption behavior. Similarly, if a certain kind of individuals or the consumers are moving for the they are visiting out a particular hotel or an industry for the purpose of dining out, discount factor can be given to them for the purpose of motivating them to dine out early before the peak hours. So that can also be done, because in the peak hours it will be very difficult for the service provider, for the hotel industry, to satiate out the needs and the wants of a large number of people, if they are they are being coming into the your restaurant or your hotel. So in order to just curtail those kind of situations, in order to just reduce that kind of challenging situation, you as a service provider, you can be able to motivate out your target audience in the form of rotation of the discount, so that they can be visiting out to your hotel or restaurant before the early peak hours. So that can also be given. Now this is the point that says that here we are intending to produce quick and short term changes in the consumers, and even if the consumers may not be only in the form of the end consumers or the end customers, but the customers may also be in the form of the business buyers, may also be in the form of the people who are trying to assimilate of to your services, and they are acting as a business buyers. Definitely in the arena of the service marketing, we know that this is not possible to just like we can say that there is a direct touch with the consumers and with the producers. They are high end customers, they are high end users. Similarly, if you are using out the word users, it means they are the people who are not they are consuming out your services, but they are not consuming the services for their meeting out the requirement of their end use. They may be terming as a business buyers at certain point of time, but their frequency and their consumption pattern is somewhat being different as compared to the consumption pattern of the end users. So there can be a situation wherein the sales promotional appeal or the technique can also be intended to them who are the people who are being engaged or who are being talked of as business buyers. Now moving on to the next slide. Now this is a slide that says that the types of the promotion in the consumer, trade and the business sales. What are the different kind of promotional tools that can be deployed in the consumer arena, or the people who are, or we can say that in other words that as a service provider we are trying to cater on to the needs of the end consumers or the people who are acting as business buyers. What are the different kind of promotional tools that can go in for? So here either we can go in for the price discounts, as we have said that discount factor can be given to the it is being prominently, it is being seen that in the airlines industry the discount is being given to the frequent flyers or the people who are frequently traveling in the executive class. We are giving out to them these discount factors, or the certain redemption coupon is also being given to those people who are consuming out your services. Again they are visiting out to the hotel or restaurant very frequently. Bonus packs, that is 30% extra free or 50% can also be given at certain point of time, which says that the bonus packs or the combo pack can be generated, can be crafted and can be floated to the selected audience who are very much being worthy enough to go in for, or who are very much being loyal enough towards your offerings. They can be given for the purpose of inducing them to move in for. They are acting as a word of mouth publicity. They are sometimes they are acting as adopting out the strategy of the viral marketing. So these kind of audience or these kind of consumers should be given out with certain kind of premium offers to just develop out this kind of relationship for the years to come, and definitely this relationship will also be helping the service provider and the marketer not only to create a binding relationship with them, but also to generate a good relationship amongst creation and the flotation of the feedbacks and the suggestions that they are offering to their near dear and relatives, to their near kith and kins, to their society at large. Definitely all these indirect influences will be creating a positive reinforcement for those people who are not using out your, or who are not using out your, consuming out your services at a certain point of time, but definitely with the proposition of those kind of positive reinforcement by your frequent customers or your frequent consumers will be developing out in a good credible relationship for those who are not using out your products, or for those who are not consuming out your services presently, but they may be turning out to be they will be converted, that is the prospective customers or the consumers can be converted in the present one with this proposition, with this flotation of the good image. Now contest can be organized, sampling programs can be created, the programs of loyalty generation, trialing and unusual application areas, extended credit terms. Now these are the tools, that is the flotation of the creation of the contest, sampling programs, the loyalty programs can also be generated, can be developed, unusual application areas can be discovered, it can be explored and it can be offered to your target audience. Extended credit terms, we know that credit is the breadth of the modern economy. Even if a particular consumer or customer is having a good liquidity at their disposal, they will not be just using out that liquidity to move in for the purchase process. Either they will be looking in for arrangement of certain kind of credit terms, which is giving them a flexibility and adaptability factor to make out a good effective purchase decision. And that is prominently in the modern era we are witnessing the credit availability in the way of using out the services of EMI facility. We are trying to purchase a certain commodity on the basis of the equated monthly installment. Either we can be able to go in for the installment basis, but that is more being preferable towards the purchase of the physical commodities. In case of the services also, we can be able to pay out the uses of a particular experience or the service towards making certain kind of installment. Installment can be it can be generated with the purchase decision with the consumption of your offerings, and it can be given out to your target audience. So this availability and this creation of the credit terms, it is very much being imperative enough in today's competitive scenario, because even if the liquidity factor is there available with you, we as a price sensitive customers, we are not being able enough to go in for the blockage of our hard-earned money on one particular substantial purchase, or towards the purchase and the consumption of one particular set of basket of the services that involves a substantial amount of money. So extension of credit terms can also be added. It can also be said as one of the technique of that can be given to your target audience for the purpose of inducing them to go in for the purchase process for a shorter period of time. Now, moving to the next slide. This slide says it's all about being related in a personal selling, and we know that personal selling is also one of the technique that is being deployed by the service marketers, preferably in terms of the service arena. We know that this is one of the effective technique, because the services, as we know, that they are the intangible experiences, the benefits and the deeds that are invariable in nature, they are inconsistent and they are heterogeneous. So how to just deal out with this intangibility factor? Definitely there is a very challenging factor for every marketer, for every service provider, and for creating a profounding influence, for creating an enriching experience, they are just trying to take the help of the tangibilized kind of tools, and these tangible clues will be accentuating out the assimilation of the benefits of the deeds and the associations that you are trying to target out towards your target audience. So the personal selling, one of the very important technique being talked of as directly connecting with your target audience towards your end users, and it all says that here, out of all the promotion mix strategies, personal selling is one of the strategy that directly connects with the customer on one-to-one setting and focuses on building a binding relationship. Personal selling is ideal if the product is more complex in nature, higher in price, customizable according to customer's need. As we have said that in case of the services, we have to develop a credible relationship, not only in case of the services, that is equally being important towards the manufacturing of the physical commodities, but in case of the services, we know that as we are not getting something tangible to touch upon, the experiences and the benefits and the associations of the deeds, they are basically intangible in nature. So how to just give out that particular kind of experience which are more being profound enough from the customer's point of view, which are more being good enough, they are more being worthy enough to develop that loyalty that you are expecting from the customers, from the consumers with regard to the brand that you are trying to propose or you are trying to go in for. Now that creation and the development of the binding relationship amongst the consumers, amongst the customers is definitely a challenging task on the part of the organization, on the part of the service organization and the marketers. So here what they are trying to do is they are trying to give you a personalization, they are trying to give you a personalized approach, they are moving for the customization, and that is a prominent factor which is being seen in the services arena, because the product itself cannot be standardized. What we can do is that we can be giving you a personalized approach, the personalized experience, the personalized benefit will all be on a worthy objective, will all be in a an objective which is very much being good enough in terms of meeting out the divergent needs and expectations and the aspirations of the customers over whom you want to target upon, and it will also be preferable enough on the part of the service provider, because the nature of the product itself, it warrants to go in for adoption of the customization approach, or to go in or they are just themselves, they are in a position wherein we as a service provider, we as a marketer, we are warranting to go in for the adoption of the customization approach. Now, the nature of the the nature of the offerings, if the offering themselves, they are demanding to have a substantial involvement of the price. The customers or the consumers, they are involving a devotion of the treasures, they are involving a large substantial devotion of the time, the talent, and the cost factors also being involved on a substantial purchase basis. Then definitely this is also one of the prominent reason wherein the service provider is trying to give you a customized approach. That is also that is prominently being seen in case of those kind of organizations which are being dealing towards giving you a personalized experience in the form of the wellness center, in the form of the grooming center, in the form of the people who are being involved towards giving out their services, and the medical practitioners are there, the people who are being involved and they are acting as a consultant. Consultancy is being given by certain kind of people. So they are basically trying to diagnose out your problem, and in order to get rid of those problem, they are giving you a personalized approach. So this is also one of the technique, that is the personal selling technique being talked about, and one of the effective technique of the promotional mix that is being used by the marketers. Moving to the next slide. Now this slide says that how to choose out a particular mode of the promotional appeal. As also earlier we have said that the same fact that before moving in for the adoption of a particular technique or a tool of the communication media, of the promotional media, we as a service provider, we as an organization, we have to firstly define out our objectives, the objectives that is being seen in terms of the drafting and the crafting of the corporate objectives, because we know that every organization, they do have their establishment is being talked of in the sense of the creation of the mission and the vision. And within the parameters of the vision and the mission, we are drafting out our corporate objectives. So the corporate objectives, they are there in your establishment, they are there in your organization, and we as a marketer working in any of the capacity, basically we are trying to limit out our discussion towards the functional area of the marketing. So here, if the marketing manager, they are trying to craft out their strategies and design out their strategies in terms of choosing out the best promotional appeal, how to just deploy the best promotional appeal, they have to just take into consideration the mission and the vision and the mission of their corporate objectives, and then only they will be able to define out the rest of the objectives of the rest of the functional areas, which are in the form of the production, the finance, or the marketing, or the research and development area. Now, after the functional areas, objectives of the functional areas, they are being defined, they are being crafted, we have to go in for the definition of the objective setting process, especially in terms of the 7 P's, and here we are limiting our discussion towards one of the 7 P, that is the promotional appeal. So what is an objective as you as a service provider, as a marketer, that you want to fulfill upon towards crafting and developing a good promotional appeal? So that has to be, you as a marketer, you have to just firstly you have to give a priority towards that aspect, that is what is an objective that you as a service provider want to fulfill upon towards adoption of one particular promotional appeal. So as we have already discussed that depending upon the nature of your offering, firstly we have to look in for the offering that you are trying to dispose of in the market area, because this is the nature of the product, this is the nature of the services or the nature of the offerings that you are trying to deal, and after that particular core utilities, the core benefits that you are trying to propose, you as a service provider, you have to just also ensure that the objectives of your target audience should also be taken into account, because we are crafting and developing out our policies and the procedural plans, and our all these 7 ingredients that are being developed, that are being implemented by you as a service provider, they are hovering around towards meeting out the expectations and the aspirations of the target audience. So definitely the expectations and the objectives which the target audience they are holding out in their personality, they are holding out in their mind, should also be accounted for. And the lastly, the objective of meeting out your availability of the the scarce resources, because each and every organization, they are having out limited resources at their disposal. So how to commit out, how to deploy out these resources which are very much being alternative in nature, which are very much being scarce in nature, and apart from the scarcity, they are also being put into alternative uses. So as an effective marketer, we have to just ensure that these scarce resources which are limited in nature, they have a capability to get being used itself into the alternative courses of action. So as a service provider, we also have to take into account that the objective of which we want to fulfill upon, the nature of the offerings that we are trying to dispose of in the market area, the objective of the target audience, and moreover the objective of meeting out or coming out with the proper utilization of your resources which are very much being scarce enough, that has also to be taken into account. So this is the point that says that here the advertisement media, which refers to the means through which the advertiser can convey his message to the audience. Now proper selection of the media enables the advertiser to achieve the desired results. Hence advertising media selection is vital for the success of every advertisement campaign. And advertising media is any object or a device that carries the advertising message. It should be capable of accomplishing the following three objectives, that is towards reaching the largest number of people, towards gaining out their attention, and to be less expensive. Definitely we have said earlier also, that is the wider appeal should be there, the attention factor of the possible prospects to be converted into your present customers, and preferable in terms of making out proper justification towards choosing out the best possible alternative way, which is reasonable enough, which is feasible enough in terms of the financial objective. So that should be justifiable, that should be that should be very much being justifiable enough in terms of the cost. So this is all about the media selection. There can be other numerous objectives, and there can be other numerous factors to be taken into account by the target audience, by the service provider, by the service organization, and that can also be taken into account. Now this was all about the selection of the media, and I hope so that you all people have understood the concept of the different promotional appeals. There can be an appeal of advertisement, as we have discussed. There can be an appeal of advertisement, there can be an appeal of persuasion, which is very much being shortened enough, and that is being defined in terms of the sales promotion. There can be a media wherein we are going in for the digitalized component, or the digital media can also be taken into account for the purpose of satiating or for the purpose of informing and persuading out the challenging needs of the divergent set of the people. And the media selection process is also very important enough to select and to go in for towards meeting out your objectives, or towards just fulfilling out your corporate objectives, which are being prominently being defined within the parameters of the mission and the vision of your establishment. So that has also to be taken into account. So with this our session is, we are just trying to end up this session here only, and I hope that you have understood all these important tools that are being deployed in the promotional mix. Can be of any of the form, either the personal selling, which is very much being important enough, and creating an lasting impact towards the target audience, or the advertisement, or the short term persuasion can also be given. Depending upon your capability and the feasibility or the discretionary, you can go in for the selection of proper mode. That is all about in today's session, and I hope that you have understood and you have comprehended the things that we have channelized. We will meet in the next session. Till then, stay safe and stay blessed. Thank you all for joining.